Love must be cultivated or it will die. So I want to give you some love secrets on how to cultivate a great relationship in your life. Let's get right into this. I want to speak to you about the love secrets every man should know about. You know, this is so interesting. Men are brave enough to go to world war and fight with guns, run through ditches, sleep in mud, be out in the cold, in the weather, go days without food, not scared of bombs, not scared of landmines. They run all over. They're not afraid of bullets being hit. But yet, if you ask them to go for a nose wax or an ear wax or maybe a bikini wax for some men, they run away. They are afraid because just men are just different. Men is another thing. Men forget everything. That's why we need instant replay on sports channels, because we just forgot how that that goal was scored. But here's the thing. Woman remembers everything. And if you are married, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you want to have a joyous and a wonderful relationship in marriage or with people, it's not just coming automatically. You have to sustain it. You have to put continuous effort in it. And love is like a tree. It grows when it's planted in good soil, nurtured with clean water, and fertilized often. But love will fade in the environment of neglect, of offenses, of resentment, of bitterness, and of hatred. And love secrets that I want to give you a couple, will create and empower you to have a great relationship. So, let's go to love secret number 1. Here is the first key. What you're willing to walk away from will determine what good will come to your life. So think about that. What I'm willing to walk away from will determine what good can come to my life. Let's look at Samson, the life of Samson, one of the greatest men, strongest men in the Bible, in the history probably. Such a great man. Handsome man, the Bible speaks about. He was handsome. He was very attractive. In spite of all the warnings his mom gave him and his father gave him, his heart fell in love with Delilah. Samson should have walked away from Delilah. But what did he do? His reward was a cheap haircut that cost him his power and the anointing, influence, and a long life. They burned out his eyes with a hot poker. He had to grind corn like an ox for the rest of his adult life. And everyone mocking him in the center of the capital because of one wrong decision that he should have walked away from. Remember my principle. What you're willing to walk away from will determine what God will bring to you. All you had to do to live a happy life and a successful life, and an anointed life, and a long life, was to walk away from Delilah. Let's look at David. David should have walked away from Bathsheba, but he didn't. So he stayed at home, and what happened? He became a liar, he became a murderer, he became an adulterer, and all of a sudden, he lost his life, and the sword of God was upon him. Their firstborn child died. Then Absalom was born, and Absalom rebelled against him, and wanted to murder his father. David's daughters was raped through their own brother, Amnon. David's wives, some of them were sexually abused by Absalom in public, in the middle square, in the sight of all of Israel. And David lived in shame for the rest of his life because of his relationship with Bathsheba. So my question to you is this. Is there someone in your life that you need to walk away from? Because what you're willing to walk away from will determine what good God will bring to your life. Remember that good is the enemy of better. There are things you need to walk away from. Yeah, they are good. No, but they are not the best. They are not the greater. And better is the enemy of excellence. And so before God can give you better, He has to take away the good. And don't be afraid to walk away from relationships in your life or from people in your life that is not meeting your spiritual requirements for a life partner. And I'm speaking to single people there. Don't just walk around with people that you think, they are so good and all that stuff. If they don't meet the spiritual requirements for a lifetime partner, walk away, because God doesn't want to give you just a good thing. He wants to give you the very best of your life. The second secret I want to give you is, love is not a license to change or control your partner. A struggle between two people is often the struggle to death. One struggles to get free, and the other one struggles to have control. I remember one situation where this husband and wife, they were fine in premarital course. When they got married, the day they got married, he really found out that she was a control freak. She would give him the phone. He was allowed to speak on his phone for so many minutes. She would check every detailed report. And she distrusted him because her father messed around with so many women that it caused her to always distrust her own husband. He eventually said to her this, I'm going to give you an alternative. The alternative is this: you're either going to relax in the marriage, or this marriage is going to end. And after a couple of years, the marriage did end because she wasn't willing to give up control. So this is what I want to give you on this. When you love someone, that's not the license to control them or to change them. Love overlooks a multitude of sins. Love covers everybody. Love is there for someone to walk in fullness and in forgiveness and to restore them and to bring them to a new life and a new beginning in your marriage. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new day of beginning a new love relationship with your friend, with your partner or with your friend. Now, love secret number 3. Now, I'm going to help you, men. There is a myth out there. The myth is this: simply believing that you will understand her. It's not going to happen. If you say, I understand her, I think it's the dumbest remark any man can say. You will never understand her. She doesn't even understand herself most of the days of the month. And there are certain time periods in the month that she just doesn't know if she's up or down, whether it's going good or bad. She cries when she's happy for no reason. If you ask her why she cries, she will tell you the following: I don't know. It's just I'm happy. So stop believing the myth that you'll understand her. There's a lot of languages that they say. When they say, don't go there, you must understand. Or if she says, I don't want you to go to your friend's party or whatever, she's actually meaning the opposite. She's actually meaning you must stay or you must go or whatever. Everything is opposites. You must understand that from them. Number 4, the love secret number 4. Stop playing the blame game. The blame game will destroy you. Blaming your partner and complaining about what she does and doesn't do is going to be agony in the relationship. When we try to blame others for our emotional agony or experiences, you're going to die. We say things like, after all I've done for you, is this all the thanks I get? Is this the way you show me you love me? Is this the best you can do? Let me rather rephrase. We must be very careful to play the blame game. How often did you ask your wife to make a decision for both of you? And when the outcome came, it was so complicated. It was so difficult. You'll tell her, go and get the food, and then it's the wrong place. Then you'll say, can you go and get us a movie for the night? And it's the wrong movie. Man said, I want 1 boiled egg, 1 fried egg. She brought it, and you say it's the wrong egg. It's always blaming each other, because you know what? There are things in your heart towards your wife or towards your spouse that can create the blame game. I want to give you 2 words. Stop it. Stop playing the blame game. You are systematically destroying her self-esteem. And you can break the blaming habit of praising her sincerely and in public. When she does something good, you can bless her. You can speak life over her. You can give her words of affirmation. You can hold her. All these things are wonderful secrets of building her up instead of playing the blame game. Here's number 5, and this is probably the most difficult thing for men. The biggest secret I can give you. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, and apologize. That's the biggest thing. Men, we struggle with that. I don't know the women. I know some women that also struggle with that. But here's the big thing. Men, let's acknowledge our mistakes. Let us apologize. And yes, I want to add this to this. Take responsibility of the consequences. That's what I want you to do. If you can do that, you will have a successful love marriage relationship with your spouse. Number 6, you need to learn to laugh. Learn to laugh. Many people think when they think about love, they think about romance, passion. But what about laughter? You must learn to laugh together. It's important to laugh together with each other. And we always say not at each other. But I want to say this. It's sometimes good to laugh at each other, at their mistakes. Otherwise, you're always going to point out the mistakes and not overcome those things. Because the Bible says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, and Proverbs 17:22, it says that laughter is a great medicine. It's a great healer. So after a hard days of work, find a way that you can just share a laughter moment with your wife or with your husband. Otherwise, we're going to become so obsessed with work and obsessed with the people that we work with that we forget the sound of laughter. When last did you hear the sound of laughter in your home or in your family's life? Number 7, learn to forgive quickly. And this is what you must do. Learn to forgive yourself quickly for not being perfect. So you must say to yourself, Nicky, I forgive myself for not being perfect and for not being always on the top. Because here's the fact, there is no perfect man or no perfect woman. Stop looking for her. Stop looking for him. They don't exist. They don't exist. We all see the superstars on television. And it's like, wow, that's Mr. Perfect. No, when they get home, they're not perfect. You see the pastor on the platform, they look perfect, they're not perfect. We always see the media portrays a perfect thing for us. Even you're looking at this podcast and you say, oh, it looks so perfect. Listen, behind the scenes here, things go wrong. We're not perfect. So in a marriage as well, it's not perfect. In any relationship, it's not perfect. But here's the main thing. You must learn to forgive yourself. Yourself, not the other person, yourself for not being perfect. Now, lastly is your attitude is contagious. This is a great thing. How you respond to people will dictate how they will respond to you. So I always say this to my wife. Your action, the action that you get from me, or the reaction you get from me is based upon your actions. So I only react on your actions. She only reacts on my actions. If I'm in a good mood, the reaction will be good. If I'm bad, the reaction is bad. So what is the attitude? Because that is the root where everything is hidden. The fruit is visible, but the root is our attitude. And your attitude, I want you to hear me today, is your best friend. Your very best friend in life is not the one sitting next to you. It's not your husband, your wife. Your best friend in your world is your attitude. Or it can be your worst enemy. People can say, that person is such a bad attitude. That person is like this. It will either draw people to you or people will run away from you. And here's the thing. Success and failure is determined on your attitude. Bottom line. Your speech is a reflection of your attitude. And your attitude will determine the quality of your marriage and the quality of relationships. So, have you been rejected? Have you been hurt? Have you been accused? Have you been betrayed? I want to say this, just get over it. Get your attitude right to say, I'm going to forgive, I'm going to let go, I'm going to go over these things, and I'm going to improve my marriage. I don't know when last did you see a kite, a flying kite. That thing can go very high based upon the string or the rope it's attached to. But here's the thing, to get that thing high, it needs some resistance. An airplane cannot get up if there's not resistance, the law of the lift. And so you must understand, if you want to have a great marriage, you're going to have all those winds and storms coming. An eagle Christian, an eagle absolutely loves the storms. And so we are Eagle Christians. We are people that rise above circumstances. Your attitude determines everything in your life. And you must learn to endure adversities. You must reach achievements, and your attitude towards problems and all these things will let you go to become a great person in this life. Now, if you don't give forgiveness, if you don't give love, if you don't give respect, if you don't give of yourself, you'll become like the Dead Sea in Israel. That sea, it just gathers in water. It's got no outlet. It just gathers in water, and it becomes a Dead Sea. There's no life in that sea. No life at all. Not a plant grows there, not a fish, no animals, nothing. It's just dead because not giving out. Don't let your marriage become a Dead Sea. Don't let your relationships become a Dead Sea. Don't let just come, give me. You know, a depressed person, it's all about me. I'm not happy. I am suffering. People who are givers, they don't have time for all these things. And that's why I'm closing with this. Let your attitude in your love relationships be so great. Learn to have an attitude of forgiveness, of love, of going higher, and you will see you're going to reach the top in your life like never before. So I hope this helped you a little bit. I failed in a lot of these things. So I'm just taking some of these principles and adding it to my life because, believe me, I failed in all of them. Every one of them, I failed. And by the grace of God, over 2 decades of being married, I'm working on that, and there are still some of those things that we're trying to work on. So, yeah, we fail, but we fail forward, and we get up again, and we take the principles, and we live a successful life. Well, thank you for joining me. This is Nicky van der Westhuizen. Remember, every first Friday of the month, we have a brand new podcast, and I want you to subscribe to our channels, follow us on all the social media platforms, and write a review and share this with us. God bless you, and also rate this program. It will mean a lot to me. God bless you, and have an incredible month.